There was nothing down here saying it's a restricted area.
What do you want?
I was taking some pictures and stuff. I'm making a little video of the area. Local force. That sort of stuff.
Purpose?
Pardon?
For what purpose?
Public interest.
To go where?
Pardon?
To go where?
Well, for public.
You're quite clearly filming us at the moment.
Yes, yeah. I film any interaction. Have you two police officers, are you?
Yes.
Have you got your warrant cards with you there since you're not in uniform? Pardon?
I'm walking out of a police building, aren't I? So
Yeah, but you're obviously doing a stop and account with me, so I'd like... But you are, you're asking what I'm doing, which is by definition a stop and account. You're asking what I'm doing in an area, that's a stop and account. So if you're engaging in a policing activity, I'd like to know your warrant card, otherwise I'm just going to disengage from you and carry on with my business.
Okay.
Alright then. Alright, refusal to identify. So I'm just going to get your picture so I can report you to your Chief Constable.
Okay.
This incident directly violates the College of Policing's Code of Ethics. Officers are required to provide their name and collar number when engaging with the public. This isn't optional. It's a fundamental rule meant to ensure transparency, accountability, and trust. Without it, the public has no way to know who they're dealing with or hold the officer responsible if things go wrong. Proper identification allows citizens to follow up on complaints, verify actions, and ensures that policing remains open and fair. Ignoring this duty undermines confidence in the force and sends the wrong message about professional standards. Every interaction is an opportunity to reinforce integrity and maintain public trust.
That's all. As I said, I've just noticed as I was walking down to take pictures, your colleague's window was open, I could see the screen, made them aware of it.
Okay, have they sorted that?
Yeah, they closed the window, fine. Yeah, it's so simple as that.
Cool. Okay, I'm sure we're not here to cause you a problem. I'm sure you're not here to cause a problem. We're just,
You know, your colleagues not in uniform refuse to identify while engaging in a policing activity. Not fantastic, is it? It's against policy. You are required to identify. You're engaging in a stop and account. You are required to identify. Because if I have any complaints, how am I supposed to make that complaint if you haven't kept yourself to the accountability standards that the force requires? So, you know, again, you refuse to identify properly because, again, you don't know that I can read, so you're refusing to identify properly. Yes, you're in uniform, but again, if I want to make a complaint against you...
You can give the time and date and where the location where you are. My body cam's recording, so
is it?
It can all be...
How come it's taking you this long to let me know that your body cam's recording?
I'm talking.
And is the policy not to, at the first, most practical opportunity to allow that?
That was the most practical time to inform
Was it?
you.
So, because you come in and gone hands-on with me?
I haven't gone hands-on.
Exactly, so why is not the first thing that you say, good afternoon or morning,
what you're doing, because that's the first question I asked you, and then we've had a conversation, and now I've told you.
But the first most practical opportunity is to say, good, by the way, you are being recorded.
Okay.
Otherwise, you could be covertly recording me under the Regulations of Investigatory Powers Act.
When asked to identify himself, the officer claimed that pointing to his collar number was enough, and that he didn't need to speak. The problem: if the number is hard to see, small, or obscured, that gesture means nothing. Officers are expected to clearly confirm their identity out loud. Verbal identification isn't a formality. It ensures transparency, reassures the public, and allows people to challenge or follow up on the encounter. Without it, accountability collapses. This rule exists to protect everyone involved, preventing misunderstandings or misuse of power. It also builds public trust in law enforcement by making officers responsible for their actions. Failing to follow, it sends the wrong message about standards and integrity.
But that's not happening, so don't worry about that.
It could, because it took you X amount of time to alert me when there was plenty. The only situation where it's not practicable at the first opportunity is if you're going into a hands-on situation.
Is it?
Any other time, there's no reason, and this has been dealt with in the tribunal by the tribunal that deals with the REFA Act, that the first most practical opportunity is when you approach somebody. If you have your camera on or you turn it on, if you approach with your camera on, you should alert them when you approach, unless you're going hands-on. If you turn it on whilst engaging in a conversation, you should turn it on, and then once it's recording, so it's stated on the camera, by the way, you are being recorded for my safety and your safety, blah, blah, blah. You have the right to do it, same way that I have the right to do it. It's not a problem. It's the notification that's the problem.
Okay.
You know.
But I've notified you at a time that I think is practical, so I've done that, so it's fine.
Okay, you can justify that to a tribunal. It's fine, no worries.
So what are you doing?
So you're going to try to identify yourself properly yet?
No, I'm happy.
You're happy, yeah?
Yeah.
Would you like to identify yourself, or would you like a complaint as well, sir?
So, can I ask you a question? Before my colleague steps in, my name is PC2376.
Thank you, so that's how it's done, thank you.
my colleague here was obviously made aware that the window was open.
Yeah.
And he's got concerns because of data protection and that you might have recorded something on your phone from the screens.
If there is anything, I'm not sure if there is or not. If anything is captured on there, that will be evidence for me to report that to the Information Commissioner's office, because obviously the onus of data protection is on the organisation, not on whoever sees that
You don't
information.
expect someone to stick their head through the window.
I do stick my head through it.
When the officer finally admitted he was recording, he brushed it off, claiming there hadn't been a practical moment to say so earlier. But in reality, the conversation was calm and measured. No urgency, no confrontation, no distractions. There was nothing stopping him from saying, "I'm recording," from the very start. This wasn't about timing, it was about attitude. Refusing to disclose, it clearly shows a disregard for both policy and public accountability, sending the dangerous message that rules are optional when, in fact, they are not. Transparency isn't just a guideline. It's a cornerstone of lawful policing and public trust. Ignoring this obligation undermines confidence in officers and sets a precedent for future misconduct. Every interaction with the public should reflect respect for both the law and those being policed.
I just want to make sure, because somebody else's information, this is a secure site. Well,
I understand that.
it's not as secure as we'd like.
Well, no,
it to
exactly.
be.
It's not secure at all, is it? Really?
No. We are trying to work on that, but unfortunately, you have to do with what you've got to that.
Even a bit of signage saying no unauthorised access beyond this point would go a long way, because I do respect signs like that.
No, okay.
But I did have a look around, and there is nothing there.
I will genuinely take that to the senior leadership team, because I think that is fair enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are trying to redo everything.
Okay.
Financially, we have to wait until the budget.
That's right. It's quite a small town, isn't it? Lower priority.
I
get it. Yeah.
We get shoved right to the bottom type of thing. We're right on the borders, between different forces and that. So it is totally. I understand where you're coming from, and I'll pass it on to the senior leadership.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I've just got concerns about the data protection that's on that video. Do you know what I mean? Because that's somebody else's private stuff and that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we obviously learn from things like that. So you've pointed it out. They've closed the window. It is really hot in there. We've got no air conditioning.
Again, I completely understand that, but obviously data protection takes priority over that, unfortunately. You can get a fan in there, and I understand, I've worked in many various locations where health and safety data protection takes priority over that.
Does that go live? Is that a live?
It's not. I'm not live streaming. No.
If there is something, would you delete that?
Not necessarily delete it, but I would make it anonymous. I would blur it out if there is anything, if I were to post it anywhere.
Yeah, but
absolutely.
It's not their fault. You know what I mean?
No, of course. I've raised the issue. I've raised the issue of data protection, and obviously I raise it as an issue because I do see it as an issue. I'm not going to go share that information. That would be very hypocritical of me, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
So if there is anything captured on the camera, it won't be made available to the public. It will be forwarded to the ICO.
That's fine. Yeah. Can I take your details?
No, I'm okay.
Can I take your name?
No, I'm alright.
Just first name, so I know who I'm speaking to.
No, I'm alright. Thank you.
So you've got my calling number, but I can't take yours.
Yeah, but as a Crown servant, obviously you have issues of accountability when dealing with members of the public, and that's why. Yeah, I know.
Your first name.
I know.
I don't even know.
I know, but then obviously
that
coupled with my image, which obviously he's notified me is recording.
Obviously we do that because I'm open and honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We record things so that you can see what we do. And we can
absolutely.
See,
I completely agree with the use of body cameras. Completely.
That's the thing, is I can't hide saying, "Oh no, I didn't say this to this man," or "This man didn't say anything."
No, exactly the same reason why I record any interaction I have with you as well.
Yeah, that's why we record everything. I have to protect my back, because the amount of people have said we do things.
Of course,
we don't.
Yeah.
You know,
but with your collar number and that, obviously, you're bound. You have to identify. You did it correctly verbally, because you can't guarantee that I can read.
What I mean?
But you have to wear that for accountability reasons. That's why I'm entitled to have that, because you're dealing with a member of the public in a stop and account situation. Accountability, you have to identify yourself for that exact reason, which he doesn't seem to understand. And sorry, we got interrupted. Would you like the opportunity to identify?
4988 PC Biffin.
Sorry,
PC Biffin.
And your collar number, please?
4988.
4988. There you go. Thank you. Would you like another opportunity?
No, I'm fine.
No, you're fine. Okay, so you're just going to be an absolute.
At this stage, another officer tried to shift blame onto the auditor, claiming he shouldn't have been leaning through the window or filming exposed data. But the legal reality is clear. Under the Data Protection Act, the duty to safeguard information lies with the organization that holds it, not a member of the public who happens to see it. If sensitive material is left in plain sight, that constitutes a data breach. End of story. The fault doesn't lie with the camera. It lies with the police for failing to secure their systems properly. Officers are responsible for protecting the information under their control, and public accountability requires them to accept that responsibility. Attempting to blame the auditor undermines both the law and public trust.
For accountability reasons, you're making a very large assumption that I have the ability to read that my eyesight is good enough to read that.
These two officers are identified, and if you do need my details, they can be.
Okay, that's still again, that's not your policy,
okay,
so that's fine. I'll make a complaint to your
Okay,
chief
not a
constable.
problem
That's
at all.
not a problem.
Not a problem
Actually, I'll probably go straight through the IOPC because otherwise it goes to your local PSD and gets kicked down and disregarded.
That's not a problem at all. If you
no
do
worries.
that, that's absolutely fine.
Interestingly, the other officers on scene had no problem identifying themselves. They gave their names and numbers when asked. Professional, straightforward, and without issue. But this one officer, given the same opportunity, chose a very different route. Instead of showing accountability, he doubled down, coming across as dismissive, almost as if the standards didn't apply to him. That kind of behavior, where ego overrides responsibility, slowly chips away at public trust in policing. The public relies on officers to act transparently and uphold the rules consistently. And when even one officer ignores that duty, it undermines confidence in the entire system. Accountability isn't optional. It's the backbone of trust between the police and the community they serve.
Lovely.
Happy with today, sir?
No. I said, obviously, I've made the issue of that window and I've made that aware.
Which I'm literally going to go speak.
Moments like these highlight something important. It's not always the dramatic events that matter most. It's the routine interactions, the small daily choices where professionalism is either upheld or ignored. When officers start dismissing simple obligations, deflecting blame, or treating rules as optional, that's where trust begins to erode. Accountability isn't about how you react when something big happens. It's about whether you follow the rules consistently, even when the situation feels minor. That's the real test of integrity. These small actions accumulate, shaping public perception and confidence in law enforcement over time. A single choice to ignore procedure can ripple far beyond the immediate interaction. Your feedback matters too. Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you value these breakdowns, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.